What is going on, YouTube? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying, flyest looking team on YouTube. We are here with our third battle of the MMDL against Dragoon and his team, the Dying Dragoons. It's going to be a great match. Welcome to the workshop. Alright guys, we are here breaking down our Week 3 matchup against Dragoon and his team, the Dying Dragoons. He's got a really scary team. It's going to be a tough matchup for sure, but I think we've got a good team to handle him. So jumping right into this, obviously his first Pokemon, Dragapult, obviously one of the best mons in the format. It's incredibly strong, incredibly fast. 120 base attack, 100 base special attack, and 142 speed. Dragon and Ghost is an amazing offensive stab typing with great coverage moves like Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, etc. It's a great pivot with U-turn. It can set up with Dragon Dance. Willow Hex is really annoying from subsets. Other status like Thunder Wave. It's incredibly strong and it matches up really well against my team, so I really have to be careful of how I manage Dragapult so it doesn't beat me. He's got Thunderous Therian, another really scary special wall breaker. Thunderbolts hit really hard coming off of base 145 special attack. It's got great coverage moves like Grass Knot, Sludge Wave, Psychic, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast. It can run Dual Dance with Nasty Plot Agility or just Nasty Plot 3 attacks. Scarf and Specs hit really hard, and it's got a Electric Immunity thanks to Volt Absorb. Thunderous really rips me apart. I definitely expect it to come, and it's going to be a hassle to take it down, so hopefully I can revenge it. If he gets up to +2/+2, I'm in serious trouble, so hopefully I can manage it. Next Pokemon, he's got Greninja. Greninja pairs really well along with Dragapult, another really fast offensive Pokemon. 95 base attack, 102 speed, and 102 special attack, and 122 speed. Water Dark type, great stab combo. It's really offensive with Hydro Pumps, Dark Pulse, Surf. It U-turns out. It can run physical sets with stuff like Gunk Shot. He has shown that he ran Night Slash last week, so I'm expecting something funky with Greninja. I definitely think it'll come. He could also run like a hazard set with Spikes and Toxic Spikes. Shadow Sneak to Spin Ball. Actually, well, he's not Protein. Yeah, just Torrent, no Battle Bond, no Protein, which is great. Don't have to deal with that. He's got Shaman. Shaman is the first of his 2 Mega Pokemon. He's rocking Venusaur on that, which makes it obscenely bulky with thick fat, so no ice and fire weakness anymore. But yeah, 100 base HP, 142 defense, I think, and 122 special defense. It's incredibly bulky. Seed Flare, Earth Power, Air Slash. It can Leech Seed, Substitute, do a bunch of stuff like that. And pre-Mega, it does have that natural cure ability, which means Toxic won't wear it down as much. He does have to Mega first turn, so if he wants to stay in and lock into an attack, then he is going to get rid of that natural cure and let Toxic wear him down. But Shaman is a really scary Pokemon. I don't have a ton that can instantly just kind of break it down, so I have to be really careful of how I manage that. He's got Bronzong. Bronzong is a great Steel and Psychic type, and incredibly reliable Stealth Rocker. Gyro Balls, it can Body Press, then Headbutt. Probably just Stealth Rock Toxic. Protect maybe with either Colbur Berry or Leftovers. He's got Slurpuff. Slurpuff is a really great discount fairy. It's at Sticky Webs and also obviously Belly Drum Up with Unburden and kind of sweep teams. I don't really expect Slurpuff to come just because I do have various forms of priority on my team that would stop a Belly Drum sweep. But if he thinks that I'm not bringing Defog because obviously my removal options aren't stellar, he could try to set webs against me, and that would really let Dragapult kind of run ham. He's got Toxic Croak. Toxic Croak is the second of his Mega Pokemon. He's got Lucarionite on that, which makes it really strong with adaptability. Gunk Shot, Close Combat, Strain Punches, Earthquakes. They hit really hard, and it can set up in both the physical and special aspect with Swords Dance and Nasty Plot. It does give Vacuum Wave on the special side for some priority, and Bullet Punch on the physical side. My Lycanroc does outspeed it, so it would out-prioritize with Accelerock, but still really scary. I have to be very careful of how I manage Toxic Croak. He's got Miltank. Miltank I definitely expect will come. A very bulky normal type with reliable recovery and Milk Drink. It can set Stealth Rocks, Thunder Wave around, Seismic Toss. I think Miltank is one of his best ways to deal with Rillaboom, thanks to its Sap Sipper ability. So I definitely expect it just a bulky pivot with Rocky Helmet, maybe Heal Bell, like Stealth Rock, something like that. Turtonator is another really good option. He has to deal with Rillaboom. It's a very bulky Fire and Dragon type. It rapid spins. It can Shell Smash, obviously, but it's very slow. It can do a bunch of really cool things. I think if it does come, it's maybe like a Shuka Berry variant to deal with Rillaboom. He's got Sand Slash. Sand Slash is one of his best answers, defensively at least, to Mega Lycanroc, a very bulky ground type. It sets Stealth Rocks and Spikes, can Rapid Spin. Earthquake obviously gets Knockoff, or if he was like running Sand for some reason, it does get Sand Rush. But it's a cool little bulky Pokemon. I don't know if it comes just because it does still get 2-shot by close combat anyway by Mega Lycanroc, but having a Rock Resist for Stone Edge and Accelerock is always good. Then his last Pokemon is Illumise. I don't think it comes. It's a Prankster bug. It does some stuff, but it's frankly not very good, I don't think, especially not in this matchup. So let's jump into what I am bringing. Let's get into this. So first up, Spinal Tap Rillaboom, making his second appearance for us, rocking Choice Band again, Grassy Glide, Knockoff, U-Turn, and High Horsepower, Max Attack, Adamant, pretty much max speed. Grassy Glide hits really, really hard, especially in the late game, because the stuff that resists it, like Dragapult, I mean, they're not really, they don't want to take 2, especially late. Knockoff is there for Bronzong, U-Turn just around for momentum purposes. It also hits Shaman pretty hard if it wants to come in on that. And then High Horsepower just to hit Turtonator. And this does some really good work, especially late game or just pivoting around in the early game. It makes it so that Shaman can't come in too safely because I can chunk it for a good bit and then get it out into something else to deal with it. So I'm really liking Rillaboom this match. I hope it does some good work. Next up, we got Primarina Miss Quinn making her comeback, rocking especially defensive set with Kibia Berry, Moonblast, Scald, Toxic, and Flip Turn. A lot of special defense with 44 speed. Moonblast hits Dragapult really hard. Scald hits things like Bronzong, Toxicroak if he's post-Mega without Dry Skin. Try to fish for a burn. And also just Sand Slash. Kibia Berry is there for a Gunk Shot on Greninja. This is my best Greninja answer, but if he burns my berry too early, then I don't have a ton to deal with it. But even on fairly uninvested on special attack, this hits really, really hard. I can Flip Turn around his team, try to get some good momentum out of it, but I really need it. Also, if he doesn't have Thunderbolt on Dragapult, I definitely think he will have Thunderbolt. But just Primarina being around here lets him so that he can't lock in Draco or Dragon Darts. Spec Shadow Ball still does a lot, and obviously if he locks into Spec's Thunderbolt, it does do over half to me. So Miss Quinn, I really need her to do some good work, but he just got so many offensive threats that it'll be really, really tough for sure. Next up, we got Ray Charles making his third appearance, rocking a Choice Scarf set this week with Intimidate, High Horsepower, Knockoff, Stone Edge, and Toxic. High Horsepower just hits everything pretty hard. So does Knockoff. Stone Edge is there for revenging Thunderous because obviously I don't have a great thing to deal with it defensively. And then Toxic is there for the Shaman switching in, especially post-Mega when he doesn't have Natural Cure anymore. Running Max Attack, Adamant. This hits really, really hard. It's my best way to revenge Dragapult. If he's not a +1, I can Knockoff. Knockoff does a ton, even if he's Colbur. And then Intimidate so I can safely switch in. On something like a Dragon Darts, U-Turn will still do a lot of it, especially if he's like physically offensive Life Orb Pivot or Choice Band. That still does a ton to me, but it's a really good revenging option in the late game and does some good work for me. Next, at long last, we are bringing Celine, the Mega variant with Absolite, rocking Stored Power, Moonblast, Calm Mind, and Moonlight. Enough speed to outspeed Mega Toxicroak post-Mega with max HP and the rest thrown into defense. This looks fantastic, this match. I don't think he has a lot to deal with this. His best answers are like wearing it down with like a skill swap Bronzong and being able to Toxic. I also think he might bring Worry Seed on Shaman so that I can't set up on it for free. Obviously, Seed Flare is that big chance to lower my special defense, so I have to be worried about how I play that. But it doesn't have a lot of PP, so I can handle it fairly well and stall it out if need be. But if I get a few Calm Minds up, Stored Power is doing so much. I need one to be able to OHKO Toxicroak, but I think that I'll be able to scare him out if I come in against him. But realistically, this sets up in front of pretty much everything except for like Specs or Band, Dragapult, or Greninja. But it does really, really well. Obviously, Thunderous can come in and start nasty plotting, so I have to be careful that I can actually kill it first before it kills me, because Dark Pulse will do a ton. But I really, really like Celine this week. I'm excited to bring it, obviously. I think he'll have to be scared of Lycanroc. But when he doesn't see Lycanroc, he'll definitely be playing different just to make sure he's not in a situation where he loses to Mega Chris. Next up, we've got Dragalge. We've got Deep Keeper over here, rocking a physically defensive set with Sugar Berry, Draco Meteor, Sludge Bomb, Flip Turn, and Toxic Spikes. This is my best switch in to Toxicroak, Mega Toxicroak. It does a ton to me, obviously. I have enough special bulk on here, just raw, that if he has a special set, I can handle it fairly well. But Gunk Shots and Close Combats don't really do a ton to me because I am so physically defensive. Sugar Berry is there for an Earthquake. If he gets up to +2, Maybe he gets cocky, thinks he can kill me with an Earthquake. Draco does a ton. It has a good chance to kill after rocks, even uninvested, just because adaptability is so strong. Sludge Bomb is good to deal with stuff like Shaman. I can grab a poison on something, maybe something like Miltank. Flip turn, obviously, just for momentum purposes. And then Toxic Spikes. If he doesn't bring Toxicroak, I love being able to get some Toxic Spikes up. His removal options are like Sandslash and Turtonator, both of which don't want to come in to try to spin away the Toxic Spikes because obviously they're going to get toxic themselves. I do expect him to have Heal Bell on Miltank for something like this. So if that comes, I have to manage, when I want to try to get my Toxic Spikes up so that I'm not wasting anything. But just getting them up forces him to come in and Heal Bell with that Miltank. And in that situation, I can get into Celine, which I can set up on it pretty freely. And then last but certainly not least, we're bringing Scyther. 17 the Scyther making its debut with Heavy Duty Boots and Technician with dual Wing Beat, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Defog. Max attack with enough speed to outbeat a lot of his offensive threats like Thunderous. This is one of my best ways to come in and revenge Mega Shaman, just because obviously it's so bulky and strong. But dual Wing Beat does a ton to this thing, even with just Heavy Duty Boots, not Choice Band. It does over half if he's fully physically defensive. Obviously, U-Turn is great for momentum. Knockoff to hit into that Bronzong, remove an early Cold Burst so that Crook isn't surprised by something later and gets body pressed. And then Defog just to remove hazards from something like Miltank or Sandslash, or webs from a potential Slurpuff. I really need to keep this thing around because I really can't let webs get up. Obviously, Rillaboom doesn't really care about it, but it really hinders Ray, and I need to keep Ray available so that I don't have to sack off Rillaboom to try to get like early chip on Dragapult so that I can actually kill it. So this thing is really, really valuable. Hoping it'll do some good work. I'm pretty excited to use Scyther just because I like Technician Dual Wing Beat. I think it's a pretty standard but a cool set. So with that, we're gonna hop into the battle. See you guys there. All right, guys, we are here about to hop into this battle against Dragoon and his team, the Dying Dragoons. This is gonna be a rough match, I think. Dragapult, Thunderous, Greninja all hit me really, really hard. But if I can get Cress in, I think it can do some good work for me. But it's gonna be tough nonetheless. So. Alright, here we go. Yep, Shaman Miltank. He does bring Slurpuff. No Thunderous is fantastic. I knew that Lycanroc was gonna definitely scare. Have fun. But frankly, a Belly Drum Slurpuff would be really, really scary. Obviously. But I do have Spinal over here, which can do some good work. But that's pretty much what I expected. Let's get rid of you. And he brought Slurpuff. So yeah, Shaman, Miltank, Bronzong, Draggy, Gren, and Puff. Cool. He probably either leads Slurpuff or Miltank to set hazards, or just Draggy because it's a great lead. I kind of want to lead Ray because it'll do some. I can knock off something, and he definitely. I should have brought Close Combat to kill that Greninja. He could be Scarf Greninja though. That wouldn't surprise me. But he doesn't have... I could lead Deep Keeper because I really don't need it that much because obviously he didn't bring Toxicroak, and I love trying to get Toxic Spikes up because he doesn't have removal. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to lead Deep Keeper. Dragapult. Alright, well, that's not the lead I wanted to see. He's probably just going to U-turn here. If he drops a Draco, I'm probably dead. If he drops a Dragon Darts, I'm also probably dead. So, or if he just Thunderbolts. If he Thunderbolts straight away, that's a God tier play. But I could almost guarantee he's just going to U-turn. He'd U-turn into Shaman, and then I can go safely back into this thing. I mean, Shaman gets Psychic, but I don't think it'll do a ton to me. I'm just going to go into Quinn. I'm going to play it safe here. Oh, he is going to go for Dragon Dart. Alright, well, that was a good play. That's why we don't make the dumb plays turn one. He probably goes into Shaman here. I would love to be able to get a Toxic on it, but if he goes into Bronzong, I'll waste that Toxic. So he's going to go for Thunderbolt now. But I mean, he can't kill me. He's probably physically offensive. So I'm just going to flip turn out. It's my best play, I think. He's going to U-turn. It's cool. He doesn't show Life Orb, so he's either like E-Belt or Boots, which is cool. I didn't want to have to deal with the damage output on that. Well, let's check that. He's going to get some intel that I'm rather HP invested. He goes into Shaman. And I like going in back into Dragapult, Dragalgy here, just to set T-spikes. But let's, before I do that, Dragapult. U-turn, I know he's not Life Orb. Let's say like Belt. U-turn, no, okay, so he's not. Yeah, okay, so he's specially offensive. But he's got darts and U-turn. So I definitely like going into Keeper here. That's gonna let him, I mean, he can go into, he'll probably go into Bronzong. But I really like trying to get my Toxic Spikes up. So let's do that. He has to be scared of a potential offensive set with Sludge Wave. If I were to bet here, he probably just goes into Bronzong, or he stays in expecting the flip turn. But there's the Zong. I'm really cool with that. He could Psychic me, but I really like the idea of getting a second layer up, because that'll help me wear down stuff later. Toxic Spikes again. He's going to set his rocks. I'm more than okay with that. I can go. I mean, I don't want to defog because obviously I don't want to get rid of those, but I'm just going to flip turn out here. I don't want to go straight into Cresselia, obviously, because I don't want to take a toxic from this thing. But I should be able to go rather safely into Crocodile and click Knockoff. If he goes back into Shaman, that's cool. He'll obviously get Toxic. So I'm going to go into Ray here, just because I don't want to take a Toxic from this thing. If you thought I was going to go into Crest. EQ, totally okay with that. He's leftovers, not Colbur. He probably just goes straight into Shaman here, but I'm just going to safely knock off. If he does go into Shaman, I can go back out into Keeper. Or I can go into Scyther and U-turn and try to get into Cresselia. Because Air Slash will do a lot if he's got that on Shaman, but it won't kill. He also could set up Leech Seed instead, which I'd be like being able to, U-turn out. Last week he brought, a Sub-Seed Protect set. But Scyther kind of shuts that down because I'll take a little bit of Leech Seed, but then I can break a sub and then get out of seeds. So I like that play. I mean, hard doubling out is also a play I could make, expecting the Shaman to come in. But I'd rather just get a little bit of damage. I can see how defensive this thing is. 25. Cool. Alright, Shaman is being chipped. So yeah, that's definitely physically defensive. Knockoff did 25. Alright, that looks like a max roll on physically defensive. He's not fully physical though. He's not like max bold. Alright, I'm gonna go back into Keeper here. I mean, no, I'm gonna go into 17. And honestly, because he goes for Air Slash. It'll definitely do a lot, but it won't kill. I would definitely expect him to set up Leech Seed here. Because then, yeah, it won't kill me. Because if I go into Keeper, he can sub, and I can't break his sub and pivot out. So let's go into Scyther here, see what he wants to do. He goes back into Zong. I'm okay with that. He's going to poison. Something from this could hurt. I don't really know what he wants to do to me. If he got a rock move, it'll hurt. But I like knocking off this thing's leftovers. He's going to Toxic me. Totally okay with that. I don't have Roost. I'm just going to U-turn out here. He double Toxics. That's fine, but I can go safely back out into Crook. And make Shaman take some more damage. Also, this dude's avatar. It's fantastic. Big ol' Wigglytuff. Big ol' Wigglytuff. But a safe U-turn here, I think, is my good play. Cool. I do love Bronzong. If there's anybody out there who knows me a little bit, Bronzong is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon. Kerchunk always lives in my heart. Get some good chip on this thing. And I'm going to go into... What do I want to do here? Draco would kill this thing, but... He's probably just going to mean, if he double toxics, then I'm okay with that. But I definitely don't want to, like... I'll go back into Ray. EQ won't do a lot because, obviously, Intimidate. And I'm not taking a lot of rocks. He's got a Gyro Ball. That does a lot of damage. But that's okay. I got to keep him around, though. And definitely should have gotten to Dragapult there. Because that wouldn't have done nearly anything. But I get another safe knockoff. If he wants to give Bronzong, that's cool. If he wants to go back out into Shaman, then he's going to take a knockoff, some more toxic damage, and then I'm in a situation where I can safely go into Scyther again. But I got to keep Scyther around just to defog. I don't want to defog away my T-Spikes, obviously, but if he gets webs up on me from Slurpuff, then I'm not in a good spot. I mean, granted, if Crook goes away, I don't care if webs get up because Scyther's flying. Crest doesn't really care. Alright, he's going to give me this thing. Cool. I would imagine Shaman comes back out here. He's only seen knockoff, right? Yeah. He doesn't see Moxie, which may lead him to believe that I'm not Scarfed. So if he goes into Dragapult or something, if he goes into Dragapult, I'm just going to click knockoff again. Because he might think he can just U-turn out and kill me. Yep. I know you're not Scarfed because I saw you go for 2 moves. And frankly, this should kill you. Oh yeah. Goodbye. Cursed Body, whatever. I'm forced out. He was E-Belt. Alright, well. That, my friends, is why I love running Intimidate Crook. Because it is a menace. It helps win the mental game so much. Yeah, this thing comes out. Obviously, I don't want to click Struggle because that's a stupid move. But safe. I mean, I'm just frankly going to go into Keeper. It does nothing else for me. He's probably going to set up Belly Drum here. He's going to set up webs. That's fine. I'm just going to Sludge Bomb. So I'm very glad I brought Scyther. He's probably Sticky Webs, Belly Drum, Flare Off, Drain Punch. But this is a really good situation for me. I don't really know what he wants to do here, so he's probably just going to sack this thing off. I'm just going to Sludge Bomb. He goes into Mill Tank. That's fine. He's going to do a chunk to it. 33. Alright, you can Heal Bell. Seismic Toss. He's probably going to Heal Bell here. I don't know why. Alright, I'm just going to Sludge Bomb again. Yeah, there's the Heal Bell. That's fine. Sludge Bomb it again. Get another poison. A little bit more chip. He's probably going to Milk Drink here, so I'm going to flip turn out. Yep. He's Heal Bell, Milk Drink. I don't know what else. So I'm going to go into Celine. And I don't think you have any shenanigans to mess me up, so let's go for Calm Mind. Body Slam. Alright, if he pairs me, that'll be pretty terrible. But I should be able to set up pretty safely. Body Slam again. There's the para. That's not good, but what are you going to do? Okay. I'm at +3/+3 here. I'm going to Moonlight. There's the Seismic Toss. Please don't get paired. Thank God. Alright, let's go into Press. Let's calc this so I don't throw this away by getting greedy with my calcs. Yeah, okay. Stored power should start killing things. I will be very sad if I get paired. Alright, well that's one. Why into Shaman? Frankly, I probably should Moonlight here. Because if he's like Specs Gren, I mean, Dark Pulse literally does nothing. You know what? Who do I care? After this thing is dead, I can go into Spinal Tap. I'm just going to store power. He's going to Mega. Oh, that's bad. Oh, wow. That was heat. That was heat as all hell. I feel really bad. Yeah, man. Dark Pulse. Yeah, it does nothing. I got paralyzed. I'm just gonna Moonlight. If he flinches me or I get paralyzed again, I'm gonna be sad. Alright, well. That's an incredible shame. Obviously, Scyther could have come in still and murdered it, but he definitely would have stopped my sweep with this thing, and I feel horrible. There's the belly drum. I got paralyzed because the thing didn't happen. So I have to let him kill me here, but then you don't get like anything silly. So I should be able to go into Smile Tap. There's the player off. Yep. Well, Celine still did good, obviously, because... Alright, there's the Glide. He's dead. That's GG's. I feel really bad. That was a scummy, yeah. The Psych Up was fantastic. But, you know, what are you going to do? That's the game, I think. But Scyther still could have come in from that range. He was at, like, he wasn't very high. He would have been taking Toxic, and then Scyther could have come in. So I'll tell him that, but he's probably pretty salty. But, GG's. Glad to get back on the winning track, especially after last week's rough ending. But, thank you so much for watching. Take care. See you next time.